We'll begin revising which one? The final accounts of companies. Before we start with final accounts of companies, a small recap. The balance sheet, of course, you know the format. Shareholders' funds, application money pending allotment, non-current liabilities, and which one? Current liabilities. In this, the subheadings are mandatory or not mandatory. Main headings are mandatory. The subheadings are not mandatory. For example, only when there is a money received against share warrant, you have to place it. Otherwise, you can just leave it. If you don't have any deferred tax liability or long-term provisions or other non-current liability, you can just put non-current liability, long-term borrowing like that. And of course, you're expected to write notes to accounts. You're expected to write which one? Notes to accounts wherever you find two or more line items. If there is only one line item, for example, they have given share capital 50 lakhs. They don't give you equity share capital, preference share capital. They don't give any further data. Then no notes to accounts is required. If there is a two or more line item, you require notes to account. Shall we? So if you find any subheading, okay, that is having two or more line item, that should be having a working note on the Mari. Wherever disclosures are required, you give it. What is a disclosure? Wherever the extra data is available, just disclose it. For example, they've given share issued for consideration other than cash. Or they disclose about long-term borrowing, secured or unsecured, those things, you just write a disclosure. Must be written, disclosures must be written. Okay, so this is about liability side. Of course, asset side, we have a non-current assets and which one? Current assets like that. Here also, these subheadings are required only when there is such item in the examination question, otherwise you can leave it. For example, you don't have any long-term loans in advance, you can just leave that subheading. Or if there is no deferred tax asset, you can just leave that subheading kind of a thing. Then, profit and loss account. What is the format of profit and loss account? What is the first heading? Income from operations. Otherwise, you can call it as operating income, then other income. Here also, if you find two or more line items, you require which one? Working note. For example, they have given sales, no other income. Do you require a working note? No. Okay. So wherever you find two or more line items, P&L account or balance sheet, you prepare a working note. Purchase of raw material or goods or change in inventory, you do it. Thereafter, subheadings, you give it. Profit before tax minus tax will give us what? Profit after tax. In this, there is a chance of giving current tax and deferred tax. Current tax and which one? Deferred tax. For example, they would have given tax expenses, deferred tax. Which one will be taken? Tax expenses will be taken. That is called as which one? Current tax. Deferred tax will be only a disclosure. Okay. Earnings per share. Earnings per share. Providing data about earnings per share is optional. It is not compulsory. What will be an off-balance sheet item? Proposed dividend will be just a disclosure. Will just be a disclosure. Suppose if they give you interim dividend paid, what you will do? You will adjust with reserves and surplus. Reserves and surplus, you will just adjust it because the money has been already paid. If it is given in the trial balance, just adjust with which one? Reserves and surplus. If they ask you to transfer to general reserve, yeah, from P&L account, eliminate and add it to which one? General reserve kind of a thing. So that's how we adjust it. Okay. So if they give you disclosures about contingent liability, provide a disclosure. Then I've selected these questions. One is from your RTP. Second is from the past examination questions. These are not solved in the class. And rules relating to declaration of dividend like that we are going to see. Thereafter, internal reconstruction, we will move on. Shall we? Look at the first question. You can just go through the digital copy also. Just go through the first question. Identify, is it a P&L account item or a balance sheet item? Then we will start solving. We are asked to prepare on 31st March 2023. They have given inventory opening balance. The change in inventory we will adjust in which account? P&L account. Discounts and rebates allowed, other expenses. Carriage inwards can be either added with purchases or it can be shown in other expenses, but better to add with what? Purchases. Carriage inwards and purchases. P&L account. Rent, rates and insurance, other expenses. Furniture, balance sheet item. Business expenses, other expenses. Wages, employee benefit expenses. Freehold land, PPE. Plant and machinery, engineering tools, PPE. Trade receivables, current asset loan. Advertisement expenses, P&L account. Commission and brokerage expenses, their expenses. Bank account, debit balance is given. Normal cash and cash equivalent, cash and bank balance. Calls in arrear, 2 per share is given. We'll reduce it from what? Equity share capital. Equity share capital. We are given trade payable, this is of course liability side. Sales will become which one? Operating income. Operating income from operation. Rent credit kuduthirka. Rent credit is what? Other income. Transfer fees received, other income. P&L account credit balance will go to balance sheet reserves and surplus. Repairs to building, other expenses. Bad debts will come in what? Other expenses. Inventory at the end of the year is given. This you will adjust in change in inventory. What is the inventory at the beginning of the year? 6,65,000. Inventory has increased. Inventory has increased. Now you will show it as a negative amount in expenses. You will show it as a negative amount in what? Expenses. Outstanding liabilities you will add with the concerned expenses and show it in balance sheet. Depreciation you will provide an P&L account as well as in what? Balance sheet. Provision for income tax 30%. Transfer 10,000 to what? General reserve, which means from P&L account that is in the balance sheet, eliminate 10,000, include in reserves, prepare P&L account and what? Balance sheet on the date kuduthirka. So all these, I mean, this question, our next two questions are like supplementary. We have done regular class, multiple questions. These are like additional questions we practice for an extra practice all of them. Shall we start? Do P&L account first. Tell me the net profit. What is income from operation? We'll work it together. 36 lakhs, 17,000. Other incomes. What null will come in other income? So schedule 1 Mari or working note 1 Mari prepare. Examination la potunga, classroom purpose is okay. Examination you should give the working note. Rent received, how much? 30,000. Transfer fee. Purchase of raw material or goods. This will include freight inwards also. Total 12 lakh
90,000.
90. Then change in inventory. Change in inventory from 665 to 7 lakh 5,000 minus 40,000. Employee benefit expenses. What will come in employee benefit expenses? Wages எவ்வளவு இருக்கு?
Wages 14,79,000.
Then add outstanding wages 25,000. Classroom purpose it is not required, but examination point of view, ensure that you are doing the work. Depreciation and amortization. Depreciation and amortization, what and all will come? Plant and machinery, 37,500 approx. Tools,
30,000.
30,000. Rates are also given. Plant and machinery 5%, tools 20%, furniture how much? 15,000. Anything else? Suppose if they give you preliminary expenses, what will you do? Nothing is specified in the exam question. What you will do? You will write off. As per AS 26, preliminary expenses must be written off. That you can show it in other expenses. Next working note for the other expenses.
Discount and rebates.
Discount and rebates allowed how much?
30,000. Taxes and insurance.
Rent, taxes and insurance plus outstanding எதாவது add பண்ணீங்க.
No, sir.
Only business expense outstanding.
Oh.
Rent, taxes, insurance how much?
55,000.
Then
Business expenses.
business expenses that 56,000 plus outstanding expenses.
92,500.
Then what else?
Advertisement expenses.
Advertisement expenses.
15,000.
Then
Commission. 6
commission.
67,500.
Then
Bad debts.
bad debts.
25,500.
Then
Repairs.
repairs to building how much?
56,500.
Then provision for
Doubtful debts.
total debts how much?
25,000.
Then anything else? No finance charges, right? Check if there is any interest on loan, etc. So profit before tax, total of income minus expenses. Profit before tax. Tax expenses, like current tax, provision for tax at the rate of how much percentage is given?
30%.
30%. Can stop your working with profit after tax. They have not done EPS as part of your main answer in your material also. So no need to do EPS. Next, start with balance sheet. Try to do the balance sheet. What will come in share capital?
19 lakh.
Examination, do the working note. Here it's okay. ₹20 minus 10,000. 19,90,000. Then reserves and surplus. Reserves and surplus. What is the P&L account balance at the beginning given? அங்கே கொடுத்துருக்கோம் பாருங்க எவ்வளவு கொடுத்துருக்கோம் 67,000 is given. Add net profit. What is the net profit? 3,15,000 less reserves. How much is transferred to reserve? So net amount will come. Any interim dividend given in the question? No. Then any general reserve given in the question earlier? No. This transferred amount will come. $3,82,000 reserves and surplus. No application money pending allotment. No long-term borrowings in this question. Trade payable directly given the question 240,500. Provision for tax we created. How much we created? 1 lakh. Then our other current liabilities are nothing but that outstanding expenses. 61, 500. Plant property equipment, PPE, what and all will come? Freehold premises after depreciation. What is the freehold premises value? How much? There is no depreciation. 7,30,000. Then what is the next one? Plant and machinery minus the 5%. 5%. 7,12,500. Then furniture. Furniture minus eவ்வளவு percentage? 10%. Furniture minus 10%, 1,35,000. Tools minus eவ்வளவு percentage? 20%. Tools minus 20%. How much you get? 1,20,000. Any other asset? Trade receivable directly given in the question. What is the trade receivable given in the question? No, trade receivable bar.
4,500,000.
4 lakh. Closing stock, how much is given? No loans and advances. No other current assets also. Cash and cash equivalents is nothing but cash plus bank balance. Or read the next question. Question number 2. Is it over? Bala?
No.
Completed, huh? Over.
Yes, sir.
Go through question number 2. Administrative expenses will come in other expenses. P&L account lo vandu. Administrative expenses will come in which account? P&L account lo, okay. Cash in hand and cash at bank. Balance sheet lo vandu. Then cash received on sale of fittings, some adjustments might be given, we will see. Long-term loan. Long-term borrowing lo vandu. Liability side la. Investments. Okay, fixed assets la vandu. Depreciation at the beginning of the year is given. This is opening balance of accumulated depreciation. Distribution cost will come in what? P&L account. Then factory closure cost is given to us. Fixtures, fittings, tools, equipment. Those things are given to us. P&L account opening balance is given. Purchase of equipment kuduthirukka asset la vandu. Purchase of goods for resale will come in P&L account. Salary net of excess duty will come in P&L account. Share capital, of course, balance sheet la vandu. Then stock opening balance is given. Then creditors, debtors will come in balance sheet. At the end of the year, what is the stock? 2 lakh. Cut 3 zeros and record because this is given in thousands. In thousands kuduthirukanga, so cut 3 zeros. 200,000. Okay. Furniture, fittings, tools, equipments are related to administration. Depreciation is how much? 20% per annum on cost kuduthirukka. A full year depreciation is charged in the year of acquisition, which means whenever new asset is purchased, we charge what? Full depreciation, but no depreciation when there is a sale. During the year, the company purchased equipment for 120,000 and sold as equipments originally costing 60,000 for 10,000, for which already depreciation 30,000 has been charged kuduthirukka. Average income tax of the company is how much? 50%. Then factory closure cost is presumed to be allowed as an expenditure for which one? Income tax purpose. Now we will charge this in P&L account. Other expenses charge panipo. Company proposes to pay 20% dividend on equity. Notes to accounts. Disclosure. And transfer reserve will be adjusted in reserves and surplus. So first, which one to start with? P&L account. P&L account start பண்ணுங்க. Try to find out the net profit and tell me. சேல்ஸ் எவ்வளோ இருக்கு? Other incomes, no other income. Purchase of raw material goods for resale எவ்வளோ கொடுத்துருக்கோம்? Change in inventory, opening stock to closing stock எவ்வளோ சேஞ்ச் ஆயிருக்கு?
Negative 60.
Increase in stock இல்லையா? Employee benefit expenses. Any employee benefit expenses? No. Depreciation and amortization, try to work. One 124. Think பண்ணுங்க. What are the assets we need to provide depreciation? Depreciation is charged on 20% on cost. What are the assets? What is the cost of the asset? 680,000. 680,000. Add cost of asset purchased 120 less cost of asset sold 16. This will give us depreciable asset. எவ்வளோ rate of depreciation? 20% on cost. 20% on cost போட்டு என்ன வரும்? 148. No finance charges. The question ஏதாவது finance charges இருக்கான்னு பாருங்க. No finance charges. Other expenses, do the next working. What will come in other expenses? In an expense or administrative expenses, administration expense or 480 then
Distribution cost.
distribution cost how much?
102.
Not to then
Factory closure cost.
factory closure cost 60 then loss on sale of asset. What is the cost of the asset sold? 60 minus accumulated depreciation 30 now. Book value is how much? 30 sold for 10 now. What is the loss? Book value is 30 sold for 10 now. Loss is how much? 20.
Loss.
Loss is an expense. What is the total? 662. 662. Total of expenses, how much we get? 2460. Profit before tax வரும். Current tax எவ்வளோ பர்சன்ட் சொல்லியிருக்கோம்? 50%. Disclosure என்ன தரணும்னா இந்த ஃபேக்டரி க்ளோஷர் காஸ்ட் இருக்கு இல்லையா, இஸ் இட் an ordinary item or exceptional item? Exceptional item requires a disclosure. எந்த ஏஸ்ல பார்த்துருக்கோம்? ஏஸ் 5. prepaid item, current year item, அதில் ordinary item, exceptional item, extraordinary item இருக்கு இல்லையா. ஸோ ஃபேக்டரி க்ளோஷர் காஸ்ட் இஸ் ஜஸ்ட் அ கைண்ட் ஆஃப் விச் ஒன்? இந்த எக்ஸப்ஷனல் எடுத்துக்கலாம் இல்லை எக்ஸ்ட்ராடினரின்னு கூட எடுத்துக்கலாம். Try to do the balance sheet next. Shall we? Share capital amount சொல்லுங்க. 1000. Reserves and surplus. Reserves and surplus என்ன? Already P&L account balance இருக்கு.
80.
80. Then add 270 minus transferred reserve. Example போடும்போது ப்ராப்பரா எழுதிக்கங்க. 80 plus 270 minus 30. எவ்வளவு வரும்? Then general reserve, is there any opening balance? General reserve, whatever is created will come. How much? 30. Then loss on sale தான் already adjust பண்ணிட்டோம். Then வேற ஏதாவது வருமா? No application money pending allotment. Long term borrowings இருக்கு. Given how much? 70. Then trade payable இருக்கா? 80 இருக்கு. Then short term provision for tax. Any outstanding expenses given in the question? No outstanding expenses. PPE working note பண்ணலாம். Okay, you have to give okay working of cost, accumulated depreciation, then book value. Wait பண்ணுங்க. What is the opening balance cost? What is the opening balance or the cost? Trial balance ல கொடுத்திருக்கோம்.
80.
680. Although accumulated depreciation already how much is given?
260.
For book values, then less sold. Cost எவ்வளோ? 60. Other accumulated depreciation 30 na. Book value sold is 30. Additions எவ்வளோ காஸ்ட் பண்ணிருக்கோம்? How much? 120. Then additional depreciation or current year depreciation. Current year depreciation how much? 148. Current year depreciation is 148. This will give us value of the asset for balance sheet. What is the value of the asset for balance sheet? Oh, eliminate பண்ணணும் இல்லையா? Book value sold we have to eliminate. How much you'll get? So opening balance minus book value sold plus purchase minus current year depreciation will give us how much? 362. Any trade receivable? Sorry, investment கொடுத்திருக்கான்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Unless they tell that it is a current investment, it will be a long term investment. Investment எவ்வளவு இருக்கு? 200. Trade receivable debtors இருக்கா? எவ்வளவு?
Yes, sir.
780. Closing stock is given in the question. 200. Cash and bank balances, how much is given? Total 1770. This is question number 2. After this, you are going to work out complete question number 3. Complete question number 3. Both P&L account and balance sheet you are going to do. I'll give you about 15 minutes of time. 15 minutes of time. Try to finish. P&L account, 15-20 minutes you can take and finish both P&L account as well as one balance sheet. Yeah, those who are accessing recording, ensure that you're passing now and doing that working for the next question. Complete working, please try to do.
Sir, one doubt, sir.
Okay,
Sir, that cash received sale of
it would have been already included in the cash and bank balances.
Okay.
The entry would have been like bank account data to fixed asset. That is why it is appearing in the credit side. It is appearing in the credit side. We would have already included in the fixed asset. The sale value we adjusted here. Loss on sale is also adjusted in P&L. Try the third question. What is the name of the company? Next one. Tell me your answer. What is the operating income? 21 lakh. Then
Income 48,000.
other income. What is other income in this? Interest on investments. Then purchase of raw material, how much is given? It is given as adjusted, which means adjusted for stock. No need to adjust for change in inventory. It is already adjusted.
There in the trial.
Which means opening stock to closing stock, already they adjusted with purchases. Closing stock will directly go to balance sheet. Only when they give you opening stock in trial balance, closing stock in adjustment, purchase is not adjusted. How to adjust it? Very simple. They would have adjusted already opening stock plus purchases minus which one? Closing stock put. They have given 8,40,000. This 8,40,000 is given after adjusting all these things, which means closing stock, opening stock has been already adjusted for change. Opening stock, add purchases minus closing stock. This we call it as which one? Adjusted purchases. Other than the 8,40,000. The change would have been already adjusted. So director closing stock will go to what? Balance sheet. It will not be shown in any change in inventory, etc. Okay. For example, I will tell you. Listen, trial balance how to show the adjusted purchases. Pay attention. Opening stock or 10,000 இருக்குன்னு வச்சுக்கலாம். Purchases ஒரு 4 lakhs இருக்குன்னு வச்சுக்கலாம். Adjustmentல closing stock ஒரு closing stock ஒரு 25,000 இருக்கு. ஓகே. இப்போ இது எப்படி within the trial balanceல adjust பண்ணு? Trial balance ஓட debit total எவ்வளவு இருக்கும் because of these two items? 4,10,000. இப்போ adjust பண்ணனும்னா purchases adjusted. How to adjust purchases? Opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. Adjust பண்ணி சொல்லுங்க. One method is showing opening stock and purchases in the trial balance. Show a closing stock adjustment la kudukuradhu. Second enna opening stock purchases closing stock adjust பண்ணி adjusted purchase work out பண்ணலாம். எவ்வளவு வரும்? 3,85,000. And showing the closing stock within the trial balance. எவ்வளவு closing stock? 25,000. இந்த மாதிரி காட்டினாலும் ஓப்பனிங் ஸ்டாக் பிளஸ் பர்ச்சேசஸ் எவ்வளோ டோட்டல்? பர்ச்சேஸ் அட்ஜஸ்ட் பண்ணி க்ளோசிங் ஸ்டாக் உள்ள காட்டினாலும் வாட் இஸ் த டோட்டல்? 4,10,000. Here they have done this. They have done this, which means already the opening stock to closing stock change would have been adjusted with which one? Purchase itself. So no need to adjust the purchases again. Just take it to which one? Balance sheet. Closing stock take it to balance sheet. Employee benefit expense என்னன்னு இருக்கு பாருங்க. 2 lakh 40. Then depreciation and amortization. Depreciation and amortization. No need of working note, 80,000. Then finance charges irka. Interest on debentures. Interest on debentures எவ்வளோ pay பண்ணணும் பாரு. 1,12,000. Interest accrued is given in the trial balance now. It is already adjusted, so it will go directly to what? Balance sheet. Next. Other expenses. Where in other expenses irka? Director's fees how much? 40,000 approved. Lend 1,04,000. Then bad debts how much? 24,000. Then sundry expenses 72,000. Then provision for bad debts opening balance 12,000 irukku. They ask you to create a provision of எவ்வளோ percentage? 4% on debtors. இப்போ 4% on debtors போட்டு என்ன வரும்? 5 lakh into 4%, 20,000 வரும். Already 12,000 இருக்கு. So provision for bad debts செப்பரேட்டாகவே போட்டுருங்க. Directors fees எவ்வளோங்க? 40,000 அப்புறம் rent 1,04,000. Then bad debts 24,000. Then sundry expenses
72,000.
Then provision for bad debts 20,000 minus already எவ்வளோ இருக்கு? 1,000 additional 8,000 we have to create. Then $2,48,000. So 6,08,000 வரும். Tax எவ்வளோ percentage கொடுத்துருக்கோம்? 30%. Then prepare the balance sheet next. Try the balance sheet next. இதோரா கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? Balance sheet. Tell me what is the share capital amount? 8 lakhs. Reserves and surplus. What are the adjustments? Reserves and surplus. Profit and loss account balance எவ்வளவு கொடுத்திருக்காங்க? 1 lakh opening P&L. Then add net profit.
425,600.
425,600. Any transfer to reserve?
42,560. 42,560.
What is the closing balance?
3,560. So, but the opening reserve,
Then
general reserve,
reserves opening balance எவ்வளவு இருக்கு?
60.
Add addition. $685, 600. Long-term borrowing and the debentures were. Debentures how much? 8 lakhs. Then any trade payables? Yes. Short-term provisions? Bad debts will be reduced from debtors. Other current liability there இருக்கா? Outstanding expenses எவ்வளவு இருக்குங்க? How much?
8,000.
அப்புறம் interest accrued, interest pay பண்ண வேண்டியது. அப்புறம் வேற ஏதாவது இருக்கா பாருங்க. Unclaimed dividend. Unclaimed dividend எவ்வளவு இருக்கு பாருங்க. 20. Unclaimed dividend 20,000. Unclaimed dividend is just another, other current liability. What is the total? 80?
4,000.
Next. Plant, property, equipment. PPE. What will come in PPE? Provision for depreciation minus பண்ணிப்போம். No need to adjust current year depreciation because it is already given in the trial balance. If something is given in the trial balance, already journal entry has been passed and posted in what? Provision account. So, what are the things that will come? PPE ல என்னென்ன வரும்?
Building,
Building how much? After adjusting depreciation. Building minus provision for depreciation.
960.
அப்புறம்
Machinery. 180. 1,80,000.
then
Loose tools.
use tools வேணுங்க காட்டிக்கலாம். அப்படி இல்லைன்னா you can show it in what? Current assets also. Or loose tools எங்க எடுத்துங்க. Tools எவ்வளோ இருக்கும்?
92,000.
Then any investment given in the question? How much?
4,80,000.
Then trade receivables minus provision for bad debts. Trade receivable at the end of the year எவ்வளோ இருக்கு? 5 lakhs minus provision எவ்வளோ? New provision 20,000, 4,80,000. Closing stock, how much is available? What is the closing stock? How much? Then cash and cash equivalents. Miss பண்ணிருக்கோமான்னு பாருங்க. Yes, advance tax will come under loans and advances.
240.
Then advance tax. How much?
2,40,000.
Other, that will come as what? Other accrued interest. Accrued interest how much? So 29,20,000 total of the balance sheet. Final accounts question normally will take around 20 minutes for you to work. Now I request you to go through the dividend declaration rules for a glance, then we'll work. Dividend declaration. Current year profit, if we give dividend, there is no restriction. Is there a restriction? No. Can dividend be paid out of past accumulated profits? Yes. But there is a restriction. First, you take the losses after adjusting which one? All accumulated losses. Reserves னு சொல்றது என்ன எடுத்துக்கணும்? All free reserves after adjusting which one? Accumulated loss if any. Number one. Number two, provide for depreciation. Provide for arrears of depreciation if any. Then net reserves you take it. Net reserves you take it. Then apply the rules. What is the first rule? Dividend should not exceed what?
Average.
Last 3 years average. Okay. First complete பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? Is it over? We'll see. Dividend rate not to exceed. Dividend rate not to exceed 3 years average. Immediate 3 preceding years or average மேல போக கூடாது. அடுத்தது, the amount utilized from reserves should not exceed what? 1/10 of paid up capital and free reserves. The balance in free reserves should not fall below what? 15% of paid up capital. After the declaration of dividend, the balance in free reserves should not fall in what? Below 15% of your paid up capital. These 3 things you have to ensure. Okay. So go through the next question. After this, please go through the next question. This question. MNP Limited has paid up share capital of how much? 10 crore. Free reserves how much? 50 crore. The company made a loss of 40 lakhs after providing for depreciation for the current year. As a result, the company was not in a position to declare the dividend out of the profits. However, the board of directors of the company announced a declaration of how much? 20% on equity shares paid out of free reserves. Average dividend declared by the company in the last 3 years is how much? 25%. referring to the provisions of Companies Act 2013. Okay, they asked you to determine which one? The payment of dividend. Try பண்ணுங்க. Try பண்ணுங்க. How much the company wants to pay? So past average is how much is given? Company declared only how much percentage? 20%. Therefore, allowed as per first condition. Second condition. The amount utilized should not exceed 1/10 of paid up capital in free reserves. So 1/10 of paid up capital, how much? Paid up capital 10 crore plus free reserves 50 crore into 1/10. எவ்வளவு யூஸ் பண்ணலாம்? 6 crores can be used. But dividend எவ்வளவு declare பண்ணிருக்கோம்? 10 crores into எவ்வளவு percentage? 20% na how much is declared? 2 crore is declared. So this is also allowed. This is within the limit allowed. The balance in free reserves should not fall below what? 15% of paid up capital and reserves. Okay. What will be the balance in free reserves? $50 crores. The dividend எவ்வளவு pay பண்றீங்க? 2 crore you are paying. So actual balance after dividend.
So that's a lot.
Current year loss then past accumulated loss இருந்தா adjust பண்ணும். Current year loss ignore பண்ணுங்க. Doesn't matter. இருக்கும் 48 crores. Okay. But what is required? Required minimum எவ்வளவு வேணும்? 15% paid up capital. That is, what is the paid up capital? 10 crore into எவ்வளவு percentage? 15% of 1.5 crore the required. It should not fall below this. Should not fall below what? 1.5 crore. So no problem. There's 48 crores available. Should not fall below 1.5 crore then. So therefore allowed. Since all the conditions are fulfilled, the dividend can be declared. At the rate of available percentage, 20%. At the rate of 20%. Our regular class, I hope you would have done 2-3 questions. அது வந்து பாசிட்டிவா இருக்கும் நெகட்டிவா இருக்கும் நாட் அலவுட்னா லிமிட் பண்ணி போட்டிருப்போம் தட் கொஸ்டின் பிளஸ் திஸ் ஒன் sufficient for your knowledge. Okay, so next we'll move on to which one? Internal reconstruction. Before we move on to internal reconstruction, I request you to go through the journal entries alone. If you're having the notes, I request you to go through the journal entry for which one? Internal reconstruction. And method direct method and which one? Share surrender method. I'll also recap. But have a small break or 15 minutes of break you have. During that break or 2-3 minutes, you just go through which one? Journal entry alone. Alteration of liability, reduction of liability, increase in liability, increase in assets, reduction of liability, what to do. If there is a share surrender, what to do. 2-3 minutes go through panna podu. Then we'll go for the question based on which one? Internal reconstruction. Okay, so from now take a break of 15 minutes. Yeah, those who are accessing recording, pause, have a 15 minutes break, go through the notes, then let us continue. The journal entry la paathiruppome. Reduction in liability, for conversion of liability, increase in liability, to write off assets, increase in assets if any. If there is a balance in capital reduction, we transfer to capital reserve. Reconstruction expenses, what to do. Just 6 entries I request you to go through. Then we have done one method called as which method? Share surrender method onu paathiruppom. Adukku extra entry we would have learnt, or 2-3 entries you would have learnt. Just go through, have a break, then we'll continue. Preliminary expenses, if they ask you to amortize, you can charge it in depreciation and amortization. Suppose book la edume sollena, I hope ICA has followed writing off in other expenses. For example, there is a trial balance given with preliminary expenses. Edume sollena enna pannunga, charge it in other expenses and close. Preliminary expenses trial balance கொடுத்தா just charge it in which account? P&L account, other expenses அவ்வளவுதான். Suppose if they ask you to write off something, like 1/3 alone you write off something na, that you can show it in other expenses or amortization. Remaining will be adjusted in what? Reserves and surplus. Shall we? Just to recollect the journal entries for a minute. Okay, the internal reconstruction is a process where you just alter your assets and liabilities. If there is a reduction in liability, it's a gain or loss. Gain. Liability account, it ought to which account? Capital reduction account. It can be waiver of any liability. If you convert liability like debentures to equity shares and the mari, cancel old liability, exchange new liability, balance will go to which account? Capital reduction account. If there is a loss also, we'll adjust in capital reduction. If there is any extra liability or bringing an unrecorded liability, what is the entry? Capital reduction to liability, it's a loss for us. To write off assets, capital reduction to various assets, but compulsorily what you have to write off? P&L account, miscellaneous expenses you have to write off. Any other asset specified you have to write off. If there is an increase in asset value, asset to what? Capital reduction. If there is any expenses, reconstruction or capital reduction account, it ought to cash or buy. The balancing figure will be transferred to which account? Capital reserve account. Okay. Now go through question number 1. Please go through this RTP May 2024 question paper. to the shareholders, okay, receive present holding எவ்வளவு shares க்கு 10,000 shares of 50 each. They will cancel 10,000 shares of 50 each. What they will get? 15,000 shares of 10 each. அப்புறம் preference shares will be given 2/5 of the total amount of equity shares. 50,000 and transfer the remaining to which account? Reconstruction account கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. Pay them 50,000 na, they will get the cash now. So what is the entry you will pass? They ask you only journal entry. For the first one, what is the entry you will pass? Is it a reduction of liability or conversion of liability? What is the entry you will pass? Equity share capital account data. Pass the entry along with me. How much? 5 lakh. 10,000 into 50, 5 lakhs. 2. What we are giving? 10 each. 1,50,000 we are going to give. அப்புறம் என்ன தர போறோம்? 12% preference share capital. How much? 2 lakhs. Then to bank account, how much is paid? 50,000 is paid to them. The balancing for will go to which account? Capital reduction account சொல்லலாம். The word is reconstruction account use பண்றாங்க. So better to use the same word. What is the balance? This is for the first one. Second என்ன கொடுத்திருக்கான் பாருங்க. 3 lakhs we are exchanging 1,50,000 to reconstruction. $1,50,000. Equity share capital is exchanged with new equity shares, preference shares. Balance goes to which account? Bank account. Of course, bank is paid, then balance goes to reconstruction account. Here, the remaining 50% goes to reconstruction. Third part. Thirdly, debentures nominal value 2 lakh, accrued interest 56,000, total 3/4 waived, remaining pays paid in cash. So what is the entry you will pass? Debentures account data எவ்வளவு இருக்கு? 2 lakhs. Accrued interest, how much is outstanding? Put together to bank, எவ்வளவு pay பண்றோம்? 1/4. Balance is waived. Three-fourth wave னு கொடுத்திருக்காங்க இல்லையா? What is the total amount due to them? 256 ல 1/4 pay பண்றோம், remaining 3/4 is waived. Then the balance reconstruction account data or to capital reserve. Much?
4,40,000.
Transfer to which account? Capital reserve account. We could, of course, it will have a, of course, credit balance. We credited, அது அப்படியே transfer to which account? Capital reserve. Shortage வர மாதிரி இருக்காது. இந்த shortage வந்தா you cannot do which one? You cannot do which one? Read through the next question. Try பண்ணுங்க. Try the journal entries. Equity shares of how much is given? 100 each. Preference, okay, 60,000 into 100 அந்த மாதிரி. Preference share 21 lakh. Debentures இருக்காங்க. Trade payables, okay. Goodwill is there. PPE, trade receivables, inventory, cash and bank. Owned debentures. Face value of owned debenture is how much? 6 lakhs. That is invested at 5 lakh 76,000. Invested at how much? 5 lakh 76,000. Own debenture purchase பண்ணி investment வச்சிருக்கோம். Face value 6 lakhs, invested amount is 5 lakh 76. The court approved the following scheme. First, we are subdividing the equity shares, then 40% is reduced. Preference shares arrears for how many years? 4 years. Preference shareholders waive what? 75%. அதுக்கு no entry required. We had seen. For the 25% only, we have to pay. Unrecorded liability becomes payable is a loss. Arrears of dividend is an unrecorded liability. If that is cancelled, no entry required. Whatever is payable is a loss for us. Whatever is payable is a loss for us. 2,40,000 nominal value of debentures were sold at 98 கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. Remaining debentures were what? Cancelled கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. Debenture agreed to accept freehold property for full settlement. Remaining property is valued at 60 lakhs. They have given adjustment for value. Goodwill, P&L account, etc. to be written up. Company paid 60,000 as penalty to avoid capital commitment of how much? 12 lakhs. Capital commitment, unrecorded liability to be paid. What is entry will pass? Capital reduction account data to cash or bank. Interest on debentures is paid on what? 31st March கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. Pass necessary entries. Prepare which account? Capital reduction account and which account? Bank account. No balance sheet is asked. I request you to try entries in the same order in which adjustments are given. First equity shares, அப்புறம் preference shares, அப்புறம் இந்த own debentures sale பண்றது, debenture holdersக்கு machinery எடுத்துட்டு போறது, then revaluation of freehold property, adjustment for current assets, capital commitments paid, then of course interest you to think and work out. Try பண்ணுங்க. For each entry, like 2 minutes on the Mari, maybe for 10 minutes, 15 minutes of time you take and try to pass the entry. If there is a doubt, skip, leave a space and go to the next one. I'll try to give the correct entries kind of. Try பண்ணுங்க. First, on the subdivision of share, will it have any financial impact? Dummy entry pass பண்ண அவ்வளவுதான். What is the entry will pass? Equity share capital 100 each. Account data to which one? How much? 60 lakhs. Then what is the next one? It is reduced. Equity share capital account data எவ்வளவு percentage reduce பண்றாங்க? 24 lakhs reduced. Transfer to which account? Capital reduction போடலாம், reconstruction account போடலாம். But what is the word they use? 24 lakhs transfer to capital reduction account. Then what is the next one? Dividend. RES எவ்வளவு இருக்கு பாருங்க. What is the value? 21 lakhs into எவ்வளவு percentage?
8%.
8%. RES for how many years?
4 years.
4 years.
1 year.
அதுல எவ்வளவு pay பண்ணணும்? 25% we have to pay. Whatever is payable becomes a loss for us. எவ்வளவு payable? So whatever is payable, we'll adjust in which account? Capital reduction account data to which account? Bank account. Next என்ன சொல்லிருக்காங்க?
240.
We are selling own debentures of 240. Wait பண்ணுங்க. Own debentures of how much?
240.
Rupees 240. Face value 240 என்ன value? Face value என்ன value இது?
Face value.
Is sold. Is sold. Sold நம்ம external people க்கு sale பண்றோம். Wait பண்ணுங்க. What is the face value? What is the invested amount? Total பாத்தீங்கன்னா எவ்வளவு இருக்கு? 6 lakhs face value. What is the invested amount? Asset side ல பாருங்க. 6 lakhs அதுக்கு 5,76,000 invest பண்ணிருக்கோம். Okay, total 5 lakh. அப்போ sold assets ஓட face value என்ன கொடுத்திருக்கோம்? 2,40,000 னா அதுக்கான proportionate invested amount எவ்வளோ? So 2,40,000 into 5,76,000 divided by 6 lakhs. 2,30,400. This is the cost of investment sold. Proportionate cost of own debentures sold. It is sold for 98 come interest na 98 come interest sold for 2,40,000 into 98 by 100 nartham. We are not collecting extra interest and all. Come interest means including interest total amount ulla record pandrom. 2,40,000 into 98 by 100. Why 98 by 100? 98 now for every debenture we are recovering what? 98 now divided by 100 will give us for the nominal value. So 2,35,200. Is it a profit or loss? We sell for 2,35,200. We sell for a profit. Profit on sale of investment. 1,000?
4,800.
So what is the entry you will pass for this? Bank account data. Bank account data we sell for how much? 2,35,200. You will recover only 2,35,200. Including the interest component, you will get only what? 2,35,200. You don't get any extra money. If it is ex interest, now we have to calculate interest and collect. I'm selling you the debentures. You will pay me 98 for every 100 rupees. That's all. Come interest, includes interest. Interest தனியா record பண்ண வேண்டாம் because we are not preparing final accounts. If it is ex interest now, we have to add interest and collect the money. So bank account data to which account? Own debentures. Own debentures at a cost on the 2,30,400 to capital deduction. Any profit or loss in this process will go to which account? Capital deduction.
So
Taken up.
remaining own debentures
Remaining own debentures are
are cancelled.
cancelled. Now it is cancelled against debentures. Debentures account data are ரொம்ப simple. Out of how much is cancelled? Total 6 lakhs nominal value. அதுல எவ்வளவு சேல் பண்ணிருக்கோம்? Sold 2 lakh 30 இல்ல nominal value sold. Face value sold 2 lakh 40,000 na balance face value எவ்வளவு இருக்கும்? 3 lakh 60,000. அதான் the 3 lakh 60,000. Debentures account data எவ்வளவு இருக்கும்? 3 lakh 60,000. To own debentures. Own debentures, wait பண்ணுங்க. Out of the total debentures, what is the total debentures? Total debentures, investment பாருங்க. What is the own debentures of the total? Investment, 5 lakh 76,000 ல எவ்வளவு sold? Cost of investment sold 2 lakh 30,400 sold na balance cost எவ்வளவு இருக்கும்? The balance cost 345,600. Any doubt in it? Three 45. இது வேற மாதிரி எப்படி கால்குலேட் பண்ண? ரொம்ப சிம்பிள். Out of 6 lakhs, total 6 lakhs 5 lakh 60 னா 3 lakh 60 க்கு எவ்வளவு? அது மாதிரி proportionate கூட நீங்க ஒர்க் அவுட் பண்ணணும். To capital deduction. இது வேற மாதிரி ஒர்க் அவுட் பண்ணலாம். எப்படி வேற மாதிரி ஒர்க் அவுட் பண்ணலாம்? 5 lakh 76,000 if it is for 6 lakhs na what is for 3 lakh 60? 5 lakh 76,000 if it is for 6 lakhs, what is for 3 lakh 60? You will get the same 345,600. Either total minus cost sold work பண்ணா balance cost வந்துரும், or proportionate work out பண்ணலாம் 345,600 வரும். Okay, balance will go to which account? To capital deduction. எவ்வளவு இருக்கு? 14,400 will go to which account? Capital reduction account. Next, debentures took over freehold property. எவ்வளவு face value? 6 lakhs. What is the book value the machinery taken over? 9 lakhs. அப்ப நம்மளுக்கு லாஸ் ஆகேனா? Loss will be adjusted in which account? next என்ன இருக்கும்? Remaining plant properties revalue னு கொடுத்திருக்கான். What is the total plant property and equipment? 72 lakhs. What is the book value? Book value இதெல்லாம் adjust பண்ணிருக்கோம் பாருங்க. 9 lakh. Book value taken over. எவ்வளவு இருக்கு? 9 lakhs. அப்போ remaining PPE value will be 63 lakhs. This is revalue. Revalued at gain or loss? Pass the entry. What is the entry will pass for this? Capital reduction account data to PPE. It is revalued at how much? 60 lakhs or 72 lakhs? What is the loss? Next என்ன சொல்லியிருக்கோம்? Trade payable என்ன இருக்கு? Reduce ஆயிருக்கு. So trade payable account data book value to revised value. What is the reduction? Then what is the next one? We are rating of assets. What is entry will pass? Capital reduction account data. என்ன assets write up பண்ணனும்? Trade receivable account. What is the difference? அப்புறம் inventory. Then goodwill. அப்புறம் compulsory P&L account eliminate பண்ணனும். How much P&L account you have to eliminate? Then next என்ன சொல்றோம்? There is reconstruction expense இல்லையா? What is the entry for reconstruction expenses? How much capital reduction to bank? 60,000. Then that's it. Interest on debentures எப்ப பே பண்றோம்னு சொல்லிருக்காங்க? Paid on 31st March every year கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. அது பே பண்றாங்களா பே பண்றாங்களா எதுவுமே சொல்லல. We are not bothered about it. நம்ம பே பண்ண வேணாம். இது பண்ணுவோம். Every 31st March pay பண்றோம்னு சொல்லிருக்காங்க. We are just paying on 31st March. We do not know whether we have to pay or not. அப்படி பே பண்ணாலும் debenture interest to bank, we will charge it in P&L account. Okay, so prepare the capital reduction account. இல்ல debit minus credit methodல போட்டு work out பண்ணிக்கலாம். Okay, இங்க credit ஒரு plus 24 lakhs minus 1,68,000. 24 lakhs minus 1,68,000 plus 4,800 plus 4,800. இங்க plus 14,400 plus 14,400. Okay, minus 3 lakhs. இங்க ஒரு minus 3 lakhs. இங்க ஒரு 3 lakhs minus. Your plus 1,80,000 minus 14,27,000 minus 60,000. What is the net balance? கிரெடிட்ஸ் எல்லாம் ஆட் பண்ணுங்க, டெபிட்ஸ் எல்லாம் ரிமூவ் பண்ணுங்க. எக்ஸாம்பிள் லெஜர் அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ் போட்டு இதையும் லெஸ் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? The capital reduction to bank, last one. So you will transfer to which account? Capital reduction account, data to which account? How much?
344.
First answers, we'll just check that out. This question number 2 was total reconstruction. Let us check the entry. Equity share capital to equity share capital கொடுத்திருப்பாங்க. Capital reduction 24,000 and the 25% arrears of dividend pay பண்ணிருப்பாங்க. அந்த own debentures cancel பண்றது. Okay. Sale பண்ணது cancel பண்ணது பாஸ் பண்ணிருப்பான். Machinery எடுத்துட்டு போனதுல ஒரு லாஸ் ஒரு 3 lakhs இருக்கும். Then the remaining free planned property equipment written off, trade payable, trade receivable adjust பண்ணிருப்பாங்க அந்த மாதிரி. So they would have prepared which account? Capital reduction account. By equity share capital, by trade receivable, stock, by bank, profit on sale of own debentures, profit on cancellation of own debentures to bank is nothing but on the arrears of dividend paid, PPE on the taken over by debentures, remaining PPE loss, trade receivable reduction, inventory reduction, goodwill, P&L account. The last one is expenses paid. Last one is which one? Expenses paid. Balancing for transfer to which account? Capital reserve account. Bank account ரொம்ப simple. Old bank balance இருக்கு. Investment sale பண்ணிருக்கோம். And the arrears of dividend paid. Reconstruction expenses paid. Balancing for will be what? By balance carried down. You must go through those two problems you have done in the regular class. ஞாபகம் இருக்கு அந்த share surrender method. First, shares will be consolidated. Thereafter, 90% surrender ன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. That is allotted for discharging creditors. The remaining will transfer to which account? Capital reduction account. So regular classல பண்ண model, of course, we have done elaborately. I do not want to redo. Again, அதை திருப்பி பண்ணா போர் அடிக்கும். So we'll அந்த ஒரு 7-8 questions go through பண்ணுங்க. அந்த homework questions எல்லாம் go through பண்ணுங்க. Plus this additional knowledge is more than sufficient.